It's a great day at Heritage Elementary School in 2015. The hallways are filled with kids yelling, "Andy's coming," while spinning their multicolored fidget spinners. A young girl walks through the halls alone, with a skip in her step and a smile on her face. Headed to Miss Anderson's 6th grade class, she thrives in her make-believe world. Others around her tend to stray away from her due to her chaotic energy, but this has no effect on the girl. She grasps her toy dog as tight as she can and walks through the door. The people in class are making conversation about the latest episodes of Wizards of Waverly Place or how they had the best mac and cheese of their lives for dinner last night. This girl sits near the back. The two girls in front of her are talking about their increased level of maturity now that they are in the 6th grade. One of them goes, "Do you remember how last year we were obsessed with Barbies? Ew, right?" The other then responds, "Totally, we are much more mature than that." The girl suddenly looks down at the toy in her lap. Red oozes into her cheeks. She heard their conversation and now seems ashamed. She turns somber and hurriedly shoves the toy to the bottom of her bag. Throughout the year, we watch her once colorful skirts and sweaters transform into clothes designed for invisibility. Her once constant smile morphs into a constant look of worry. She starts doing everything solely with the intent of fitting in. She ultimately isolates herself to a point where hardly anyone knows her name. Once she starts worrying about what other people think, she never stops. Today we will transition from this 6th grade class into high school. We will go to our first hour and learn about the expectations of society and the issues that those expectations can cause. We will go to lunch and get a big fat dish on how ignored child abuse is and the effect it can have on a person throughout their entire lives. We will go to our 5th hour and write an essay on the influence social media has on our lives, both good and bad. Finally, we will have a deep conversation on the bus about possible solutions to growing up too fast. High school, the place most frequently described as living torture. A place filled with so much judgment and pain that, according to PBS, there were 11.8 deaths per 100,000 adolescents aged 15 to 19 years in 2017. Irina Esterlis conducted an experiment where she studied the brains of 20 people, 10 of whom were diagnosed with clinical depression. She quickly found that the 10 with more severe symptoms had more mature aspects of their brain, proving that mental illness can be a big factor in mental maturity. Childhood is changing from what it was. At younger and younger ages, girls are pressured to worry about what they wear and how they look wearing it. Boys are pressured to act like the most masculine, to act like real men. They are determined to fit into the stereotypes. They are scared to stand up for what they believe in or express themselves the way they internally want to because it could be socially unacceptable. This can be detrimental to everyone involved. We all know the alphabet, right? A, B, C, D, you get the picture. Let's break it down a little. You have your vowels, A, E, I, O, U, and then you have your more commonly used consonants like R, S, and T. Then you have your less commonly used consonants like X, Z, Q, and J. Let's compare this to our society. You have your cheerleaders and jocks who are well known and attractive for the most part. They are praised for being extroverted and good within groups of people. You have your average person, not super well known but not ignored. Then you have the brains, the people who are smart, who excel in school, the people who are judged for being quiet and awkward, the people who want to fade into the background. I have a little bit of a secret. It's not something I usually tell people. It affects my social life, home life, and nearly every other aspect. There are others like me, but we are considered outcasts. My secret? That I'm an introvert. Like most people on the debate team, I'm smart and I'm a deep thinker. Some of the people who have life-changing ideas, they were introverts. Albert Einstein, Bill Gates, Emily Dickinson, some of the most widely known people, yet at the same time, the most reclusive people. Their ideas to help change the world came from spending time with themselves. If not for them and others like them, we would not be the world we are today. I would like to share a story with you. The story does include some descriptions about child abuse, suicide, and other mental health issues, so if that bothers you, then feel free to mute me or leave the room. My mother, Alice Thurber, has some personal experience with child abuse. I consider her as having little to no childhood at all. When she was 5, her mom was institutionalized and diagnosed with a personality disorder. Her dad worked full-time as a police officer, leaving my mom and her twin to take care of their siblings. They became the parental figures of the house. They cooked, cleaned, bathed everyone, got everyone off to school in the mornings, and ready for bed at nighttime. Alice's dad would have to come in at night to set the alarm because Alice was so young when this started, she didn't even know numbers. Shortly after Alice's mom was healthy enough to come home, my grandma attempted suicide for the first time, then got institutionalized, and the cycle would start all over again. My mom has some fuzzy memories about some abusive things that happened. She remembered her mom giving her a drink, her mom would start chanting something, and Alice would black out. She doesn't remember what happened or how much time had passed. This happened multiple times. Once, in a car with her mom, Alice remembers being deathly afraid of driving off the edge of a cliff, because that's where her mom told her they were going. Obviously she didn't, but this feeling can be traumatizing for a child. Strangers would come and go throughout my mom's childhood. This is where her and her siblings became victims of sexual assault. When my mom was 14 or 15, she was enjoying the nice Christmas season when something altered the course of her life. Christmas Eve, siblings all cuddled up, enjoying some nice hot chocolate. Her dad comes in with big news. He proceeded to tell the kids that he was leaving them for another woman. Shortly after this, my mom's mom attempted suicide yet again and got institutionalized. So with both parents out of the house, my mom and her twin moved in permanently with their grandparents. Alice's younger brothers and sisters were placed into foster care. My mom is traumatized and has been her whole life. She developed an eating disorder at a very young age to try to have some aspect of control in an uncontrollable environment. My mom always said that if someone had reached out to her, whether it be a teacher, friend, or church leader, the direction of her life would have been way different. Notice the red flags because you can drastically change someone's life. According to Mayo Clinic, some warning signs of child abuse may be withdrawal from friends or unusual activities, failure to attend school and do good in school, extreme anxiety or depression, unexplainable injuries, and sudden loss of self-confidence. These obviously aren't all of the symptoms, but it's good to know a few of the basics. If you can notice these about someone, then feel free to reach out. If nothing is wrong, then at least you tried. The child abuse my mom suffered still affects her to this day. My uncle committed suicide last year because he never really recovered. Parents have a huge influence on their kids' lifestyle, and you always need to be aware and sensitive towards others. The experiences shaped by the influences of technology are an enormous part of who we are. An example of this being a study conducted by Deborah Linebarger. The study showed that children who watched Dora the Explorer started talking more earlier and more efficiently. An example of this being a 15-month-old boy who loved to interact with Dora and her buddies. Evidently, his first word was backpack. The same study reported that kids who watched Teletubbies were not able to learn new words as quickly, proving that the content of TV shows can alter the path of maturity. We all remember our days as kids, right? Or as I like to call them, the good days. Getting all dressed up in our silly bands and light-up sneakers, we sit down on the couch to watch The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, or Little Einsteins. Unfortunately, things are different in the present day. Kids are getting access to iPhones at younger and younger ages, giving them access to social media and the taxing issues that come with it. They get all dressed up in their favorite crop tops and ripped jeans and sit down to watch Riverdale. This is the effect of children following the example of their favorite influencers, older siblings, and not allowing their parents to have much control. This can cause extreme mental damage at unacceptably young ages. Oh, there's the bell. Time to head out to the bus. Hey, bus driver, how's your day? Not good? Oh, well, let me show you how to change that. Now, you may be wondering what could possibly be a solution to the issues we've discussed today. There isn't really a specific answer. Focus on the more important parts of your existence, the happy parts. Don't ignore the negative issues, just don't dwell on them. Feel your feelings and move on, as my mom always says. Spend some time with what you love, whether that's riding a bike, reading a book, painting a picture, or snuggling up with your dog. Distracting yourself with things other than technology can be extremely beneficial to your mental and physical health. Now, I'm not saying you have to pull out the Barbies, but it's okay to be yourself. Thank you for spending this day with me. I hope you'll become aware of your surroundings, learn to take a break from social media and the influences of others, and focus on the positive because it can save your life and maybe others. Thank you.